Hello, this is Mr. Evilcheese.
And I'm the bucket.
And this is our review of two figures. Well, they're basically the same figure, just different versions. The Trick or Treat Studios 6-scale Terrifier Art the Clown action figures. The one on the right is the regular clean version. The one on the left is the bloody version, which they call the Selfie Murder Edition. And that's exclusive to Trick or Treat's website. They came differently. This one I ordered from Amok Time Toys. This one I obviously got from Trick or Treat Studios. Actually was confused because I seen people online getting their regular version and I'm like, how come I didn't get mine? I ordered straight from Trick or Treat. And then I seen Dean Knight's review and I even commented on there, I ordered mine from Trick or Treat Studios, how come mine didn't ship? And after that, after I commented, I went and checked and it wasn't on there. I'm like, what the? Then I checked my emails and realized that I actually ordered it from Amok Time.
You idiot.
I don't remember why I ordered from them. I don't have anything against them or anything. I think that's the first thing I ever ordered from them though, and I don't know why. If there was a deal or...
I was going to say it was probably cheaper.
Either cheaper or maybe they just had it up first. I don't know, but that's why it didn't ship right away. It was because it was not straight from Trick or Treat. The weird thing is though, these both came the same day.
That is weird.
But yeah, this one came in a bigger box, and this one came in this. So I don't know why this one didn't get a box like this. Not that I care about these boxes, but I thought that was weird. But we'll get this one open. See, this one just says bloody in parentheses, but online it's the Selfie Murder Edition. Alright, so there is the Selfie Murder Edition. You can see it has the little sticker up there with a picture of Art's mouth. You can see that's all shiny. But other than that, the box is the same. And it's a really cool box. I really like that picture.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
You know, blood splattered everywhere. And turn aside, it says Terrifier. On the back.
Another good picture.
Yeah, that's actually a picture of the figure. Well, that could be the figure too. Maybe
Yeah, it's harder to tell there because it's edited.
Yeah, that might be the figure, it might be from the movie, but I'm assuming they're both pictures of the figure. But that looks really cool. Yep, I like that a lot. That's one thing cool about having two of these, is you can have it, if I was to display these boxes, I could have it the front and back.
Yeah, where are you going to do that at though?
Yeah, nowhere. I don't have any room to do that. They have a little door that opens up so you can look in there. There you can see the bloody version and the clean version. Mostly clean. He's got a little bit of blood on him. You can see the background is all bloody too, black with blood over it. Oh, and a nice picture there.
Man, there's so many pictures on these.
I know. Now I need a third box so I can have this show too. Okay, well, let's get them out of there. Oh, there was a deal on Trick or Treat when they first put this up for pre-order. Maybe it's still going on, but you can get a free Terrifier stand, which if they're not free, they're $10, $9.99 each, but I bought this and they included this for free. So there they are, opened up, and they're really cool. And this is one of my most anticipated 6-scales that I have had pre-ordered for a while, because I just love his character.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about this one too.
Yeah. We watched Terrifier first. We heard about it on, I think, a Facebook horror page is where I seen it. And I was like, look, it's interesting. So then we watched it one day. And then later we ended up watching All Hallows Eve to see the original movie that he appears in. And it's a different actor in All Hallows Eve. But hey, I just love his character. He's very, very creepy. And he just got a already iconic look for being such a new character. But anyway, you can see that he comes with, both versions come with the same accessories. I mean, neither of them really come with a stand. You gotta buy the stand separate. But they both come with an alternate scalpel holding hand. This hand for holding the hacksaw. And the hacksaw. So yeah, they all come with that. It looks like the blood is pretty much the same for both versions. I mean, it might vary a little bit, but yeah, it's mostly the same. The paint on the bodies are where it's going to be different. And
of course the head.
yeah. Yeah, I love the paint they did on the head. Blood looks really cool.
Both heads look so good.
Yeah, I love the expression
His
they look
mouth.
like. No, it's kind of funny though. I think it's awesome that they made a bloody version. But right after I pre-ordered this, I seen Dean Knight's video where he bought an extra clean one, bloodied it up, and it looks so amazing. It looks like perfect. And now I'm like, oh man, maybe I should have got a clean one and did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that they made the bloody version, but the blood that's on the clothing is just so flat.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice, like, if you're not a customizer, it's really good if you're not a customizer. But I do customize figures, so I'm kind of thinking I might just sell this one and get a clean one and try to bloody it up myself. But the face, though, the face is pretty good. Other than one thing you notice is cut that long. I think that kind of does happen in the movie at one point where it's just kind of like...
It's a bit too straight of a line, though.
Yeah. And one thing I was saying, I could just do blood effects over this, but it's just so solid on these spots that
I'd rather... not gonna look right.
I'd rather have it blended a little more. So I think I might just sell this one and get another clean one and bloody it up. That was my hand.
There's your butt.
It's my hand rubbing on the table. Yeah. I can't wait for Terrifier 2. Maybe we'll get another figure from Trick or Treat based on that. But yeah, that movie's really messed up.
That's why I like it so much.
Yeah. There's a couple little issues that we noticed with mostly just with the clean version. That they're not that big a deal. They're easily fixable, but it's just definitely going to mention them. The main one that I noticed was right here.
It's just not stitched.
Yeah, it's not like the string broke and it's hanging there. It's just, there's not even like holes like it was stitched. It's just like the sewing machine stopped and then started again down here. And it's just...
I'm not sure exactly how their like industrial machines work, but it really seems like it ran out of thread and then just started stitching again.
Yeah. So it might have been something they didn't even notice. But there's a zipper. You can unzip this so you can turn inside out, and I think you can easily just, I don't know.
We can sew it because we know how to sew, but if you don't know how to sew, you could glue that.
Yeah. So, I mean, some people might be like, oh, I'm sending this back, but I'm not for that.
It's not a big issue.
I can fix that. The other little thing, is very minor, is the dot on his nose is off-center a little bit. Because of it being off-center, I was like, ooh, is that a mess up? Is he supposed to have a dot there? And I was showing you, I'm like, well, look at this dot they got off to the side of his nose.
And I'm like, he's supposed to have a dot on his nose.
And I looked up pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he does. But it's because it's not centered. It's off a tiny bit. This one, the bloody version, is right in the center like it should be. Mm-hmm. And he also doesn't have any, that I've seen, issues with the sewing, so there's nothing, I haven't seen any issues with this one. Well, there is one thing that both of them have, and that's the thumb on this hand. It's just painted gray like his gloves. Because he's got Caucasian skin.
Well, you can see it on the other hand, on these fingers, where the skin color's painted on. So I'm guessing maybe that thumb was supposed to be covered in blood.
Maybe, yeah.
Because these other fingers, you can tell that they're gray underneath with the blood painted on.
Yeah.
So we can just bloody them up.
Yeah, it's another very easy fix. It's just something I've noticed. But I think that's everything. I haven't noticed any other issues. Everything else seems to be fine.
Well, the reason we noticed his thumbs being like that is because when I was first looking at him, I'm like, isn't he supposed to have fingerless gloves? Because I thought his glove, he just had like weird gloves on that that covered his fingers.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of paint issue there. But it could be fixed. But I guess we'll look at this figure now that we got them issues out of the way. But I love that head sculpt. If they only made one expression like they did, this is the one I'd want.
Yeah, it was a very good choice.
Yeah. It would be cool if there was alternate heads. For the Michael Myers, the 1978 Michael Myers, they made an accessory pack that comes with various things, and I think he could definitely do with an accessory pack. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe an alternate head. I'm not sure. I haven't tried to take this head off, so I don't know if it's an easily switchable head on this body. But it would be cool to have a different expression.
Yeah, an alternate head and some more weapons, maybe.
Yeah, definitely more weapons.
And a naked, bloody chick on a rack.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make that.
But it'd be awesome.
Actually thinking I might want to get a Fison TB League body and try to make that, but I don't think it's something that I should show on YouTube if I want to.
Probably not.
I'll get demonetized and banned or something. Almost forgot, I did make an accessory. I've seen lots of other people do this too, but it's such an easy thing to do. Is I made him a little garbage bag. Because in both movies he has his garbage bag he carries around. It's full of his weapons that he uses to kill everybody and torture them. I filled this with crumbled up paper towels and also some ripped up packing peanuts, just so it's real light. So I don't actually put weapons in there. I don't want this opened up. This is actually the second one I made. This is the first one I just thought was a little too small. But I actually made a big rectangle and then folded it over and glued it on the sides so that it actually has a seam.
It's a professional garbage bag.
Yeah, he often carries this garbage bag around, so I definitely wanted to make that.
That's cool. It looks pretty good too. He did a good job.
That's if they do make an accessory pack, that might be something they include. But we'll talk about that at the end, maybe if some other stuff they can include if they do. But yeah, I love that head. I was actually trying to figure out, because it's never for sure explained what's going on with his face. Like if he put on a mask, and that's why this nose and mouth and thing is. My thing, I always assumed this was how his nose actually is, his mouth, and there his cheekbones, that's all his actual face, and he just painted over it. But I don't know, maybe they're making it like he's put a mask on, because he's got like normal Caucasian looking skin and everything.
Well, there's that scene you were talking about too, where they like pull on his face.
Yeah, the one girl grabs up and reaches on his face and it moves like rubber, but that doesn't necessarily mean that his face is a mask. It might just mean that's just what happened.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just like to assume that the nose and the cheekbones, mouth, his chin, that's his actual face. That's what I like to assume.
Yeah, me too.
And he puts makeup over it. But he does have that creepy mouth, so I mean that's makes it seem more like his face is that.
Yeah, I like to assume that he's supposed to be like slightly supernatural.
No, he's definitely supernatural.
Like,
he's not slightly supernatural.
Well, yeah.
He is definitely supernatural.
But I mean, like his appearance too.
Yeah. In the beginning of the movie, you don't know, but by the end, for sure. Well, if you only seen Terrifier, if you've seen All Hallows Eve, then you know he is supernatural. And then his suit looks really nice. It's very baggy. His suit is very baggy in the movie. One thing I think, when you pose him, I think you just gotta adjust his suit so it's not just sticking out all puffy, making him look fat. Because he looks very thin at all times in that movie.
Yeah, I think that's part of why the suit looks so big on him, is because he's so scrawny.
Yeah. So you get him in position, you gotta just kind of adjust the suit a little bit and get it looking skinny. But it looks really nice. I like the collar, like whatever you call these little puff balls.
Pom-poms?
Yeah. He's got his big giant clown boots, which you see a lot because they often show his feet up close walking around. They're all dirty and grungy looking. The strings look nice, the little eyelets. There's not no tread in the bottom. He does have tread in the movie. I just watched it the other night and I noticed the tread in the bottom, but that doesn't matter. I don't care about that.
Yeah, it's always, whenever they have really intricate tread, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then, like, you never see that.
Yeah, unless it's somebody who kicks and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But the hands are cool. They got, like I said, he's got his fingerless gloves. And then he's got his, you see the fingernails, put blood all over it. Even a little button on there to button his gloves up. Looks really cool. Oh yeah, there's a little hat. There's little hats on there. One thing I would have expected them to make the hat a separate piece that has a little elastic string, but that's fine. It doesn't matter because in the movie he like picks his hat up like he's tipping his hat. But that's fine that it's glued on there. I don't know if that's supposed to be that seam, I guess you can kind of think of that seam.
It's definitely supposed to be the string.
Yeah. So that works. And we can look at the bloody version. Get a close-up of how much different that is. You can see this one that does have some blood on it. It's not completely clean. A little bit of blood on his face.
Well, he doesn't spend much time completely clean.
No, not really. Yeah, the blood on there, it looks shiny and glossy on his head. All over his mouth and everything. It looks really good. And then, for just printed on blood, it looks pretty nice.
I mean, we've definitely seen printed on blood that looked shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, it is good. It's just
It's
custom paint is gonna look better.
Yeah, custom blood paint. And there's this weird little spot here that's got some shininess to it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Just that one spot. But it is believable drips and blood, like splatter and drips. It looks fairly decent. On the back, down his arm. Right there's where he gets stabbed in the back. But yeah, there's a nice splatter there. Yeah, I would like to get a clean one and customize it. Now, here's a look at the Scalpel Hand. And like you were saying, it's really nice that they made a separate hand with this.
Yeah, I was saying that when we were opening, that it's so much better for a little tiny tool like that to have it attached to the hand instead of having to try to get it to stay in the hand.
It's just too small. But there he is with the scalpel. That looks really good. I really liked that they made that hand. There he is holding the hacksaw, which looks really good. And that is from the most memorable scene, I would say. It's the one that I would assume that most people, if they chose their most memorable scene from the movie, that's probably the one.
Oh, it's definitely, whenever I think of him, that's the first image that comes into my head.
Yeah. That could change when Terrifier 2 comes out.
Yeah.
I've seen an interview where they're talking about how messed up it's going to be. But the hacksaw looks really nice, very worn looking. Looks like it's got maybe some rust or something on the blade. It looks very dirty. Something that, if you were going to get cut by a hacksaw, I don't want to be cut by this one, because if you somehow survive, you're probably going to have some kind of infection tetanus or something going on. But the girl he used this on definitely did not survive.
That's what's making me laugh so hard, because I'm just picturing him cutting halfway through, and she's still alive, and she goes, "I'm gonna get tetanus!"
Yeah. That scene was so messed up, but so awesome at the same time. But this could use some blood on it too.
It is a delightfully gruesome movie.
Yeah. Weird in spots, but...
Yeah, very.
Yep, there he is holding his custom-made garbage bag, carrying it around. I almost think maybe I should maybe make it even bigger than this. I made it pretty big, but it seems like in the movie it hangs down even further.
I think you need to put something with at least a little bit of weight in it to make it hang.
Maybe I do, yeah. But yeah.
Put some beads in the bottom or something.
Maybe. But still, it works. At least.
It still looks good.
I guess we'll look at articulation.
Articulation?
Articulation? His head has it can spin around, go up and down a little bit. I really expected him to have more articulation at the head. A little less than I thought he should have.
Yeah, because with that big collar covers up the bottom of his neck, you'd think he'll be able to move a little bit more. But I mean, it's
not a huge issue.
Not that bad.
Yeah, it's just, I thought there would have been more. The rest of his body, I think, has really good articulation. It's like he has a butterfly joint in there.
And his clothes are so loose, they're not an issue.
Yeah. Double joint. Pretty good at the wrist. And then the torso moves all around there. Lots of articulation at the hips. And he gets in lots of goofy poses, so that's good. He has all this articulation. Down the ankles. Even at the ankles, it's pretty good. So his articulation is really good. The only place it's a little limited is at the neck. Could be better. One comparison I wanted to make was next to this new 52 Joker 6 scale, who reminds me a lot of Art. How his teeth shows and all of his tools and things he carries around. It just reminds me a lot of Art the Clown. Another thing good is Art has all kinds of weapons in his bag, and maybe he can borrow some of Joker's weapons because he's got plenty. Wrenches, axes, saws, hammers, a drill, all kinds of stuff that you can maybe borrow from Joker. But yeah, they look like they could have fun together.
I was gonna say, they seem like they'd probably be good friends.
Yeah. At least this version of Joker. Joker's got different phases of his personality. We were talking about maybe if they made an accessory pack for him, just some other things that would be cool to have. Like we said, there's alternate expressions he can have for his face. When he uses the gun, he makes the super serious frowny face. I think he uses the gun when he gets pissed off. Mm. He's like having fun, and it almost seems like he thinks that the person he's killing and torching should be having fun. And when they fight back and hurt him, he gets a little pissed off, and he's like starts shooting them, and he's like not happy at that point.
Ruining it.
Yeah, that's another accessory, is he can have the gun. Another accessory from, I don't know if they do this because it was from All Hallows Eve, but after he injects the girl with the thing that puts her to sleep, they show him and his eyes are big circles and are glowing. It looks real creepy. I don't know if they would do something like that. There's many tools. There's both movies, he has a chain where there's like scalpels and various blades hanging from it, and he swings it and slices people. That'd be another accessory you can have. A whole bunch of cutting tools, meat cleavers, and all kinds of things like that he could come with. He could come with a hand similar to this that would have like a needle in it to inject people with. Because he does that also in both movies, injects somebody with something. He often cuts people's heads off, so he could come with a severed head.
I was thinking like body parts.
Yeah, cutting off limbs and things like that. There's a whole bunch of stuff they could include if they made an accessory pack. Like a little horn would be an accessory. That's one I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't come with, is a little horn.
You could probably make that.
Possibly, yeah. There's a couple of the scenes that are kind of funny where he's violently trying to kill someone, and all of a sudden he's like squeaking a horn. Like in Terrifier, he's trying to get in through the big doors that are chained shut, and he reaches in. He can't get in, so then he reaches in again with his horn and starts honking it at her like that's going to do something. A tricycle. He rides a tricycle around with his super articulation. He might be able to actually ride a little tricycle. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff they can make for him. So there he is next to a whole bunch of other horror figures that we've got. A few of these were sent to us by Fu Manchu. The Nun and Leatherface were presents to me by Fu Manchu. Got Freddy, got Michael Myers, Jason, and Pinhead. It was pretty cool seeing them all together.
Makes me happy seeing all these guys together. We need more.
Yeah. There's a lot of horror characters they need to do. Mm-hmm. And here he is next to the unofficial Pennywise figure that was sent to you from Fu Manchu. Which the best thing about this is it came out way years before the Hot Toys one came out. It just recently came out. Mm. We haven't got it yet, but some people have gotten it, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago, that thing that went up. But this one came out, so we've had a Pennywise for a few years, which was nice. And it has issues. It's not completely accurate, and the arms and or the hands, the head, and the feet are falling off. But the suit looks really weathered really nice. And while it's not completely accurate, there's a lot of work that went into that suit that I can appreciate. And Hot Toys did a similar thing to this, where he comes with a base where you can put the alternate head sculpt in there and have his little head peeking out, which is really cool. Still, it's cool to see Pennywise and Art next to each other because they've been compared before. One of the popular advertisements for Terrifier is it says it makes Pennywise, Art the Clown makes Pennywise look like, I forget what it is. It makes him look weak or something. I think they're very different movies, and I wouldn't really say that, but I get what you're saying because it's a much more violent, disturbing movie. Is Terrifier.
Well, I mean, they're both supernatural clowns, but that's about the extent of what they have in common. They're not intended to be similar.
Yeah, but still, I can definitely see the comparisons. Murderous clown. They're both supernatural, so yeah, there's definitely could be comparisons. All right, so I am really happy with this figure. I'm so glad that it actually exists, and I love his face sculpt. It's like one of the best parts of this figure is the scary looking face sculpt he has and the expression they chose.
I mean, that's one of the best things about him in the movies is his creepy face.
Yeah. And the suit looks really nice. I like the hand options you got. And I like that he comes with his hacksaw and the scalpel hand. And the bloody head looks really good. Like we said, the bloody suit is good for what it is if you just want a bloody suit. But I do want to bloody up my own, similar to what Dean Knight did, just because that just looks so good. Yeah, it would be cool if they came out with an accessory pack that has some other stuff that he uses. I don't know if they're going to do that, but since they did it for Michael Myers, they might do it for him too.
If they don't, we might end up making him some accessories on our own.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things we thought of that would be cool for him to have, especially the little horn.
Yeah, the horn.
I'm excited about.
The horn would be cool. Yeah, this articulation, like we said, his articulation is really good. You can get him a lot of crazy poses. The only area it's limited in is his neck and head area. Is not a whole lot of articulation there. Another thing that would be cool, I don't think they'd do it for a cheap figure like this, because I don't mean cheap as in crappy. I just mean Hot Toys are usually like $250, but this was like $130. So I don't know if they would give this type of figure movable eyes, because that would be kind of cool to move his eyes around. Because like one of the most famous pictures of him is where he's got the big grin, he's looking off to the side. That would be kind of cool if you can make that happen.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I wouldn't want his eyes to be stuck looking to the side and only have that, but it would be cool to be able to do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things they can maybe add in a future version or in an accessory pack.
I'm just really glad to even have him, because he's one of those characters that I wouldn't have guessed they would make a figure of him anytime soon, you know?
Yeah.
That's
yeah, that's
really
like
cool.
with NECA. NECA hasn't said, from what I've seen, NECA hasn't said exactly why they won't make an Art the Clown. My guess is it's a somewhat, the movie's got somewhat of an indie feel to it, and extremely gory and disturbing. And that's kind of weird that they wouldn't do that, because that's kind of what Texas Chainsaw Massacre was an indie sort of movie that's very disturbing. It's just that by today's standards, it's not as disturbing looking back now. So I don't know what the reasoning is. I wasn't expecting a figure to come out so soon, an official one. Trick or Treat's also making a little 6-inch figure too. It's not as crazily detailed as a NECA Ultimate figure, but it's still kind of cool. Yeah, I'm really happy with this figure. There's some issues like with the clean version, like we said, the little dot in his nose and
They're just very tiny little things, though.
the pant seam wasn't sewn all the way, but that's going to vary. I don't think everybody's just going to be like that.
Ours could be the only one like that, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
that just seems like such a random thing.
Yeah. Yep, I'm really happy with them. I'm glad they made them.
Yeah, he makes me happy, too.
Well, it's Mr. Evil T.
And I'm Doggett.
Thanks for watching. Go back.
Hey, what the hell? A gun? You can't use a gun. That's so cheap. Come on. Us killers don't use guns. Well, Hockey Man there, well, he might have used a harpoon gun once, but that's different. At least it's a harpoon. But seriously, a gun? No, man, you, stick with the blades. It's so much more personal. What is that supposed to mean? Yeah, come on, gun. That's just lazy, man. Come on, guys, back me up. Mike. Leatherface. Oh, Jake, none of you idiots talk. Man, I'm telling you. Oh, hey, look, let's ask those two gentlemen over there. They can tell you how lame guns are. Oh, come on, seriously? Oh, never mind.